Misconduct seemed to move at a breakneck pace, with the 59-year-old television personality fired 35 hours after the accuser and her attorney first contacted NBC News.
After he got fired from NBC, it was believed that Matt Lauer would never work again. See his life today. After the scandal, is he planning a comeback? In this video, we will reveal all the details. Matt Lauer's fall from grace drastically changed his life, and today he is a totally different man. How did it all unfold? How's he doing these days? Is he full of regrets? What exactly was the scandal? And the million-dollar question, will he ever return to TV? Let's uncover everything together. The once celebrated TV host. Matt Lauer's reputation has taken a significant hit, overshadowing his previous status as a celebrated American journalist and TV host. Before the scandal, Lauer had a thriving career in television. Lauer kicked off his television career back in 1979. He was about to complete his degree at Ohio University when he decided to take an internship at WOWK, a television station in West Virginia. It wasn't long before he moved up the ranks to become a news producer and on-air reporter there. Over the next decade, Lauer reported for various stations up and down the East Coast. From 1980 to 1986, he even hosted the nationally syndicated PM magazine, blending news and entertainment. By 1989, Lauer made his way to New York. Here, he briefly took on several TV hosting gigs before landing a spot as co-host of the talk show 9 Broadway Plaza. In 1994, he joined NBC's Today Show, and by January 1997, he had become its co-anchor, a role that won him a Daytime Emmy Award in 2007. During his time at Today, Lauer was known for his high-profile interviews with politicians, dignitaries, and celebrities, as well as for his on-location reports from around the globe. He also contributed to the NBC News magazine program Rock Center with Brian Williams, The Shocking Scandal. Then everything changed on November 29, 2017, when NBC dropped a bombshell. Matt Lauer was fired due to a complaint about inappropriate behavior in the workplace. This news came just a month after the abuse allegations against Harvey Weinstein sparked the hashtag #MeToo movement. Ari Wilkenfeld, the lawyer representing the woman whose accusation led to Lauer's firing, shared some insights. He mentioned that he and his client had a lengthy meeting with NBC's Human Resources and Legal Department about the case. His client didn't want to publicly mention her identity at that time. Wilkenfeld praised NBC's swift action. He explained that NBC appeared to have acted promptly in response to the credible allegations, which he believed was the appropriate course of action for any company facing such serious claims. He also expressed admiration for his client's bravery in coming forward with the complaint. Despite not seeking any demands, she only wanted the company to handle the situation properly. An investigation followed, leading to the decision to terminate Lauer's employment. He was officially informed of his dismissal on November 28th. The specifics of the complaint against Matt Lauer remained under wraps until October 8th, 2019. That's when Variety published an excerpt from Ronan Farrow's explosive book, Catch and Kill: Lies, Spies, and a Conspiracy to Protect Predators. In it, former NBC News employee Brooke Nevels came forward as Lauer's accuser, revealing that the incident occurred during the Sochi Olympics. Nevels told Farrow that she was too drunk to consent, and made it clear multiple times that she did not want the encounter to happen. She also recounted other encounters with Lauer in New York City, describing them as purely transactional and devoid of any relationship. Lauer responded with a lengthy letter, claiming that the encounter in Sochi was consensual and marked the beginning of an affair with Nevels. He insisted that their encounters continued over several months and reiterated that he never assaulted anyone. Lauer also pointed out what he believed were contradictions in Nevels' story, defending his actions and denying any wrongdoing. Though the complaint that led to Lauer's firing was the first since he became anchor of the show. In 1997, it prompted other women to come forward. More accusers came forward. Following the initial accusation, more victims shared their stories, leading to a cascade of complaints against Lauer. One former NBC employee accused Lauer of assaulting her in his office in 2001. While she chose to remain anonymous, she shared her account with a newspaper. She recounted that Lauer never approached her again after the incident, nor did he mention it. At the time, she didn't report it to NBC, feeling she should have done more to stop him. She left the network about a year later. The woman, who was in her early 40s then, confided in her then-husband about the encounter, which he confirmed to the newspaper in a phone call. The couple, separated at the time, eventually divorced. She also disclosed the incident to a friend 5 years ago, and the friend confirmed her story to the newspaper. Following this, 2 more anonymous women came forward with accusations of harassment against Lauer, adding to the growing list of complaints and painting a troubling picture of his conduct over the years. Then came an article from Variety, painting Lauer as a serial harasser at Today, preying on numerous female producers. The accusers in Variety's report were also anonymous, and NBC News did not confirm their accounts. According to the article, a 2-month investigation involved conversations with 3 women who claimed Lauer harassed them, and their stories were corroborated by dozens of interviews with current and former staffers. The staffers who spoke to Variety accused Lauer of exposing himself to one woman and then scolding her for not engaging in a act. The article also mentioned that despite these women complaining to management, their complaints were ignored due to the lucrative advertising revenue Today was generating. In response to the reports, a spokesperson for NBC strongly denied that any current management was aware of these complaints before Neville's accusation. NBC correspondent Stephanie Gosk, who had been covering the story for the Today Show, spoke during Megyn Kelly's hour, noting that there could be as many as 8 accusers. However, their anonymity made it challenging to differentiate between them. She said, "We can't tell if those who spoke to Variety are the same individuals who talked to the New York Times or the 2 who approached NBC after Matt's termination. So the total could be up to 8, but it's difficult to pinpoint because they've chosen to remain anonymous." She added that hearing such details about anyone is tough, but it's particularly difficult when it's about someone you know, a sentiment shared by the entire NBC team. Gosk emphasized that the 2001 assault allegation against Lauer significantly raised the severity of the accusations. Noting that assault is a crime, she mentioned that NBC reached out to law enforcement but found no open criminal investigation against Lauer. Lauer's statement. Despite the mounting accusations, Lauer remained adamant in his denial, dismissing them as untrue or mischaracterized. Let's not forget he was married to Annette Roque at the time. While he denied any assault, he did own up to some extramarital affairs. In a statement, he expressed deep regret and embarrassment for any pain he had caused, acknowledging the validity of some of the claims made against him. He admitted, "There are no words to express my sorrow and regret for the pain I have caused others by words and actions." Lauer recognized the damage his behavior had caused both at home and at NBC, expressing a commitment to repair it. Despite asserting that some accusations were false or distorted, he acknowledged enough truth in them to feel ashamed and embarrassed. His statement reflected his commitment to introspection and the challenging journey ahead to make amends. He acknowledged the need for time and soul-searching to address his troubling flaws, recognizing the impact on those he held dear. However, his words couldn't save him from the damage those allegations had already caused. Drastic impacts of allegations. When the allegations surfaced, it not only shocked his fans, but Matt's co-stars, including Al Roker, Savannah Guthrie, and Hoda Kotb, were equally shocked. People couldn't help but wonder if any of his former colleagues stood by him through it all. According to some news reports, Savannah Guthrie decided to cut ties with Matt completely. She expressed being heartbroken for both him and the brave colleague who spoke out, along with any other women who might have stories to share. Savannah promised to keep everyone updated as more details emerged. Reportedly, Savannah isn't interested in rekindling her friendship with Matt. She didn't want to hear his side of the story then, and she's not budging on it now. Apparently, Matt felt particularly hurt by Savannah's reaction. He feels that she took the opportunity to betray him as soon as the news surfaced, and it's been a significant point of contention between them. Their relationship has deteriorated to the extent that they can't talk to mutual friends without mentioning each other. It's a messy situation that doesn't seem to be getting any better anytime soon. Katie Couric, Matt's longtime co-host, has also distanced herself from him. In an interview with Savannah Guthrie, she revealed, "I realized there was a side of Matt I never really knew." She went on saying, "As I learned more about what was happening behind the scenes, it was really upsetting and disturbing. It was devastating." Katie hasn't shied away from discussing her relationship, or lack thereof, with her former colleague. During an appearance on The View in 2021, she was asked if she still kept in touch with Matt. Katie didn't mince words, simply replying, "No, I do not." Additionally, Katie expressed sympathy for Matt's wife, Annette Roque, when reports of infidelity surfaced. She also addressed the situation in her memoir, where she wrote, "He admired beautiful women, but I never felt he was inappropriate in my presence, ever." She even shared their private text messages, which understandably shattered Lauer's trust. It seems he was deeply hurt by Katie Couric's revelations in her book. While many of Matt's former colleagues have distanced themselves from him, Bryant Gumbel stands out as an exception. He revealed in a recent interview that they still talk almost every day. According to Gumbel, Matt is doing well and described him as a good man. Their bond goes way back, with Matt taking over Bryant's role on The Today Show when he left in 1997 after anchoring for 15 years. They've remained close friends ever since, and even stood as best men at each other's weddings. Similarly, Matt's relationship with Al Roker appears to be on friendly terms. When asked about Matt in 2019, Al simply wished him well, indicating that they still maintain a level of respect for each other. However, the impact of the allegations extended far beyond losing friendships. In 2017, Lauer made a hefty payment of $9.2 million to lease a sprawling sheep and cattle farm called Hunter Valley Station in New Zealand. The property boasted over 16,000 acres of land, including miles of lakefront and riverfront areas, along with a 5-bedroom house and farm buildings. After his termination from NBC, questions arose regarding Lauer's ownership of the farm. New Zealand authorities launched an investigation to determine if Lauer's actions violated the country's good character requirement for foreign buyers of significant assets. Despite this, the Overseas Investment Office eventually cleared Lauer to continue his ownership of the property, but not without expressing disapproval of his behavior. Now, the downfall not only cost him friendships and led to difficult situations like this, it took a toll on his marriage as well. Admitting to extramarital affairs led to the end of his marriage to Annette Roque. Roque initially left the U.S. amid the allegations, but eventually returned to their family home in the Hamptons. Despite their split, they're reportedly prioritizing their children, Thies, Romy, and Jack. Their divorce was finalized in 2019, and shortly afterward, Lauer began dating his current girlfriend, Shaman Abbas. They've actually known each other for nearly 2 decades, having crossed paths through work. Abbas, a businesswoman with a background in marketing, has a robust career that takes her around the world, working with high-end luxury clients. She and Lauer spend time together in between her travels. Before getting involved with Lauer, Abbas had been married twice. Her first husband was Detroit-based dentist, and then she got married to the nightclub entrepreneur Frank Silione. Despite Lauer's controversial past, Abbas stands by him fully, and their relationship hasn't been affected by his previous scandals. Insiders say their romance has grown stronger over the years, and they are serious about each other. However, they prefer to keep things low-key, as Matt still faces a lot of public scrutiny and doesn't want to give people more fuel for gossip. His public appearances make headlines, even with their efforts to stay private. They've been seen together a few times. In January 2023, they enjoyed a romantic date night in New York City's Upper East Side, walking hand in hand. About 3 years earlier, they were spotted vacationing in New Zealand, which was one of the first times they were publicly seen as a couple. Since his firing 6 years ago, Matt Lauer has mostly faded from the public eye, making his rare appearances all the more newsworthy. Whenever he's spotted, it's a media event. For instance, in December 2023, he was seen shopping in the Hamptons, sporting a casual look with black jeans and orange puffer jacket. It quickly made headlines, as people were curious about the former TV host. One of the most significant events in Lauer's reemergence was his attendance at an NBC producer's wedding, also in December 2023. He showed up with his partner, Shaman Abbas, marking one of their few public appearances together. This wedding was particularly notable because it brought Lauer face-to-face with former colleagues such as Hoda Kotb and Al Roker for the first time since his firing. His former co-host, Savannah Guthrie, was also there. Sources suggest that Guthrie was initially hesitant to accept the wedding invitation, considering the potential awkwardness of encountering Lauer. In the end, she decided to attend, perhaps signaling a recognition of professional courtesy. Although it remains unclear whether she and Lauer had any direct interaction at the event, there were no reports of hostility, suggesting a possible truce or at least a mutual decision to avoid conflict. Self-isolation. Indeed, he has lost a lot because of that scandal. But if we're being honest, he has completely changed up his social circle. He's cut off many old friends, including some who stood by him during the height of the scandal. These days, he hardly reaches out or tries to keep in touch with people, so he's been drifting away from a lot of people. Insiders say his trust in people has taken a huge hit, especially with those he once called friends. A lot of it comes down to Katie's book and the painful memories that resurface when he connects with people from his past. His lavish lifestyle also had to undergo major adjustments. When he was fired from the Today Show, NBC ensured he didn't receive any severance pay. While Lauer is believed to have a considerable fortune, much of his wealth was tied up in real estate. In 2022, he finally managed to sell his Hamptons property that he'd been trying to sell since 2019 and started living in his farm property in New Zealand. His life today. So, is Lauer happy with his life now? Or is he just hiding from the spotlight because of guilt and regret? Well, sources say he sold his Hamptons house to spend more time in New Zealand, where he feels at peace. He loves it there, the people, the environment, everything. It's also great for his productivity. He's not wallowing in guilt. He just prefers to keep to himself these days. In fact, a source mentioned he's still very upset about how he was portrayed and genuinely feels like he was the victim. This source even said, "He's very thin-skinned. Don't expect an apology from him. He thinks he deserves one instead." As for his relationship with a boss, they keep a low profile but are happy together. They're not interested in a high-profile life and prefer staying out of the public eye, enjoying their time together away from the media frenzy. One source shared that Lauer is living a fairly good life these days, but it's nothing like the whirlwind of his anchor days. It's pretty calm and low-key now, but he's okay with that. He's out there dating and maintaining a good relationship, his kids. And get this, he's still holding on to that massive horse farm he used to share with Annette on Long Island, and they're managing it together surprisingly well. Oh, and guess who's been by his side through it all? Bryant Gumbel. Yeah, they've got this amazing friendship going on, and it's been a huge support for Matt amidst all the chaos. Bryant has always been there to cheer him on and give him a boost when he needs it. They're in touch regularly, and just being good friends. The possibility of Lauer's return. Now here's the buzz going around town. Some media sources are saying Lauer might be thinking about making a comeback. And get this, some even speculate that attending that NBC producer's wedding in New York City last year was also a part of Lauer's plan to test the waters with these public appearances before making a comeback. Seems like he wants to be relevant again and now show up more with Abbas in public, maybe to rebuild his reputation. He's keen to prove he's settled down, not a wild playboy anymore. It's all part of his grand plan to stage a comeback. But here's the twist. His close friend Bryant Gumbel denies the rumors of Lauer's return. He told reporters, "I think he misses being in the mix sometimes, but I don't think he misses being on television. He's got a lot on his plate right now. He's enjoying his kids. He's enjoying his life. When I talked to him last, he was heading out on his boat." Despite his friend's dismissal of the rumors, the question still looms. Is Lauer secretly plotting a comeback? And even if he does attempt a return, will the public be willing to forgive and accept him back into the fold? It's clear that the scandal has changed everything for him. While he may still see himself as a victim, many question whether he truly grasps the impact of his actions and the harm caused. Is Lauer truly seeking redemption? What do you think? Share your thoughts in the comments below and don't forget to subscribe for more video updates. Until next time, stay tuned.